Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
I don't watch reality television shows. I watch sports, I watch hockey, I watch NBA, I watch football, and I watch boxing, and I watch UFC, and I don't watch shit television shows, okay?
Drumsmack.
All right, everyone. Good evening. It's a little past 9 here in Hollywood. Welcome. You are watching Drumsmack here on T Radio V. Happy Tuesday, gents. How are we doing? Brad, Cam, welcome back. You're kind of here whenever you want to be.
I roll in and out.
Murph?
He's too good for an attendance.
We don't have a mic set up for Murph.
Hey, I'm always here behind the scenes, just occasionally here in front of the scenes. On the scenes.
Except for when you go see a show.
Yeah, except when duty calls. You know.
Duty calls. All right, so you guys have a good weekend?
Yes.
Yeah, anything new and exciting?
Yeah, I flew to Dallas.
That's new and exciting.
Yeah, I was there recording.
Yeah, how'd it go?
It was amazing. I was there just long enough to lay down my bass track and then got back on a plane. I was literally there for 19 hours.
Wow.
Life
of rock star,
Going
right?
through the big
life
D,
of the rock
huh?
star.
Sure, something like that.
Right on, man.
Oh, yeah.
Well, do you want to know who's going to be on the show tonight?
Yes.
I know.
I don't even know. How do you know?
I'm very observant.
Tonight, we welcome two of the biggest names in drumming here in Los Angeles. We have percussionist Joey De Leon and, of course, our pal and friend Jimmy Branly going to be here. And we have a little setup, so we're going to be doing some live playing, y'all. Please, it's going to be awesome. If you'd like to call in, if you have any questions for the guys, you can call in 855-878-4652. Again, the call-in number here, toll-free, is 855-878-4652. And I said y'all. That was a Texas thing.
You did. I was laughing. I heard it a bunch this weekend. It's cool, man. I was almost used to it.
Almost used to it, yeah, I know. And then you forgot it really quick.
Yeah.
All right, the news.
Oh, yeah.
All right, all right, there's our news music. All right. So, happening in the drumming world, Scorpions drummer who was in jail, James Kotak, was sentenced to 1 month in jail, and we have an update.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now, to get people up to speed, he was arrested for insulting Islam, flipping the bird, dropping his pants, and being drunk in public while at Dubai airport. He was arrested on April 3rd on his way from Russia to Bahrain, where the German band was scheduled to perform at the Formula One race, and he was a no-show at the April 5th concert because he was in jail. So here's the update. James Kodak tells fans, after years of drinking alcohol on April 3rd, 2014, my addiction finally caught up with me during a 5-hour flight from Russia to Bahrain via Dubai, which I consumed 5 or 6 glasses of wine while at the airport in Dubai. I approached an airline representative to check on the status of my flight, and the representative informed me that I was in the wrong place, and I replied, "What the fuck?" Of course, right? You'd say that. And then the representative then called police and reported that I was intoxicated, which I was, and made a lewd gesture. One of the police officers recognized me as the drummer of the Scorpions. When the police asked me to show my ID, I showed them my Rock and Roll Forever tattoo on my back instead of my actual ID, which was in my backpack that a friend was carrying. Apparently, the police did not find this funny, and I was charged with drinking without a license. So you need a license to drink in Dubai, apparently. Anyway, he was released and back in the States on May 6th. He immediately reached out to Bob Forrest, an addiction specialist known for his work with musicians and celebrity rehab. So he's back in town. He made it out of there. So you need a license to drink in Dubai.
There you go.
I mean, it's an Arab it's an Arab nation, right? So I mean,
it is, Cam.
Yeah. Alcohol is very taboo in the whole Middle East.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, WTF is too, and tattoos instead of
as
ID.
our Rock and Roll Forever.
I mean, what if you did that LAX? Just like, you
rock
know,
and roll forever.
Who are you?
You're on the list. What do you got, Brad?
Ginger Baker is back. We keep talking about this guy. He's clearly
Who?
fun
Dude.
to talk about. To celebrate the release of Ginger Baker's new CD, Why Matema Records has put together a prize package that all Ginger Baker fans will want to get their hands on. Ginger Baker Y, best known as the fiery, game-changing drummer from the 1960 British supergroup Cream, with guitarist Eric Clapton and bassist Jack Bruce. Ginger Baker is a true music pioneer, inspired by a love of African rhythms and the drumming of jazz greats Art Blakey, Max Roach, Elvin Jones. Ginger's unique style of drumming created the foundation for an entirely new sound of rock music. Now, on the heels of the 2012 documentary Beware of Mr. Baker, which brought him and his fascinating life to a wider public, Baker takes the influences that helped shape him and put them front and center with his powerhouse jazz confusion quartet on Why. His
Jazz Confusion.
This is his first new album in 16 years, so he
Wow.
can call it whatever he wants.
Good.
3 lucky winners will each receive a copy of Why, a pair of Ginger Baker's signature Zildjian drumsticks, a personalized Remo drumhead, and a Why poster. Special acknowledgments to...
Oh, yeah?
I am
Oh,
not even
yeah.
gonna try.
Oh yeah.
What is this? Is this a
Oh
joke?
yeah.
Are you guys...
I think you should show that into the camera. The camera should
Put-
see. That's a hard
Brad,
name.
read the names, Brad.
That's a real
Read
tough
the
name.
names.
Special acknowledgement to Ogoyan Aoviano Teto Hisa. Well, this is ridiculous. Special acknowledgement to those guys.
Oh man.
What are you?
You got the last
those are
name. Read the
especially-
last name.
Alright. Dionisio
Buenaventura.
I can do that one.
Buenaventura.
Dionisio Buenaventura. I can do that one.
Okay.
Oh
All
my
right.
God. Just go to moderndrummer.com.
Holy shit, that was funny. Cam?
That was so intentional,
Oh.
Jeff. You baited him on that one for sure. Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Onto Zildjian Artist Relations. Our friends over at Zildjian.
Hey, man.
So, Sarah Hagen is the new announcement for the Director of Artist Relations worldwide, effective immediately with Zildjian symbols. Sarah assumes responsibility for planning and executing Zildjian's Global Artist Relations program, based out of its headquarters in Norwell, Massachusetts. There she is right there. You can see her there. Really young. That's amazing. Great. She's freaking head of Artist Relations at Zildjian. That's amazing. Gives me hope that young people can do awesome things.
Effective immediately
Yeah,
is a PR
effective
firm.
immediately.
They rep my band. Yeah.
I think they're saying that she effective immediately
No,
is
that's
the head of
serious.
Artist Relations.
That's a big
No,
deal.
it's amazing. That's what I'm saying.
But what's with this music?
I'm not
Go
sure.
ahead. Go ahead.
It's
go ahead.
Zildjian's music.
I took my headphones off because the music was making my heart race like crazy. So I had to get rid of it. Zildjian has a long tradition of working
We're back.
closely with artists, which began with my grandfather, so it's important that we entrust artist relations to someone with a deep commitment to drummers and the drumming community. Sarah has a proven ability to connect with drummers across all musical genres. Therefore, it gives me great pleasure to appoint Sarah to Director of Artist Relations worldwide,
Wicked.
says me, the CEO of Zildjian Symbols.
Yeah, your grandfather. Yes.
But yeah, so she was a member of Zildjian's sound team, working closely with R&D, marketing on the successcul development and launch of
How come he
redesignated
gets names like
A-series.
Sarah Hagen?
And yeah,
Like, come on.
congrats.
There's
Congrats to
nothing
Sarah
wrong
Hagen.
with that list there. These are seriously
I still
not.
can't figure this second name
Agoyanye Yaviano.
Those are actually real people, Brad.
out. I feel really bad that I am butchering this amazing name. Someday I will learn.
It's all good, man. All right, last up in the news, check it out. If you're at the NAMM show and you were hip to Aero Drums Air Kit, they have a new video out. So basically, you use your PlayStation 3 eye camera and you sit up and you put these like reflectors on your ankles and you actually play like you're playing a real drum set. And it's pretty neat. So we have a little short clip that we'll play right now, so check it out.
Clever.
So, I mean, what do you think of that? That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can practice anywhere, right? In silence or in.
Sure.
So,
I mean,
okay.
how many drummers are living in their parents' basement? You know, probably a lot. So
Well, if
keep the
you're in your
noise down.
parents' basement, set up the whole kit. And, I mean, don't be playing that. But if you're in some tiny
New York apartment.
yeah,
Living in a
but even
closet.
at that, I mean, it's kind of more of like kind of karaoke. I mean, like having a karaoke machine. I mean, it's cool to, but you're not hitting a surface. You're just air
Dude, what are you
drumming.
talking about? You get perfection from that, bro.
I don't know. Did you see like what he
flawless.
was hitting? It showed it on the computer monitor, and it was just like off to the side a little bit. You gotta know where to strike on the drum.
That's
But it's available at Amazon, priced at £100 or basically $160. So you can find
Rim
out
shots
more.
are really easy.
Aero Drums. That's AERO Drums.com. All right, so we're gonna take a break. That's the news segment, everybody. We're gonna come back with Joey De Leon and Jimmy Branly. You are watching Drumsmack here on T Radio V. Please stick around.
Hi, I'm Moby, and you're watching T Radio V.
T Radio V.
All right, he's currently performing with Grammy winner Pancho Sanchez and the Gordon Goodwin's Big Fat Band. Also is the music director for the Lucky 7 Mambo. Joining Joey, he is one of the most diversified drummers here in LA. Please welcome to Drumsmack, Joey De Leon and Jimmy Branly.
Oh, yeah. What's up, man? Thank you. Long distance.
There you go, man. So, thanks so much, for taking the time to do this. I'm really excited,
This
that
is cool.
you brought, you brought your big kit
Yeah.
and got some congas. So, what? I mean, you just got off the road, right? I mean, we were talking out there, and you were in Australia and Japan. Tell us a little bit about that,
last
man.
couple of months, been having a very good fortune of going out on the road to Australia, doing some teaching as well as performing. We performed for several days in the southern part of Australia called Mount Gambier, and we were treated to quite amazing talent of young kids that are upcoming all through the whole country of Australia, as well as New Zealand. So they have
Cool.
just a bunch of people just coming in and bus loads, and it's been also just a nice cultural exchange from what we have to offer to them as well as what they offer to us. So
Sure.
all good all across the board, and some fabulous musicians over there. One person in particular that was part of the scene was a gentleman named James Morrison, who's this I call him Wanderlust because the guy does everything imaginable. I mean, anything that he sets his sights to. Plays trumpet, trombone, drums.
He's one of those
piano.
guys.
I mean, he's one of
Okay.
those, like, kind of like this nut job. over
I
here.
know.
One of
That
those
guy,
guys.
just a lot of gifts, man. But he just doesn't know about the word no. just
Just
does
keeps
it.
going, huh?
Yeah,
Just-
so it was very inspiring to see that.
oh, that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
so,
What was
yeah.
his name?
His name is James Morrison. And he's
James Morrison, all right.
Yeah, he's a gentleman out there in Australia. He flies planes. I mean, just races cars. I mean, the guy's just a zest for life.
Flies
man.
planes, races cars.
Yeah.
He's a
Plays
renaissance
I mean,
man. Awesome.
Well, you know what? That's great,
You
though.
know?
I mean, just kind of
Yeah.
keep moving forward and never
Yeah,
really
it's all
get
part-
settled.
It's all part of his, it's part of
That's
his day-to-day
great.
routine, But music is at the forefront,
Yeah.
and his
Sick.
dedication to teaching young kids and pushing the education process.
So he
Yeah.
flies planes, and you build like rocket or spaceships then?
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause
I'm working on something new.
Well, he's successfully hidden his drums. From
yeah, I know, right? We don't want anyone to see him, just hear him.
Yeah, right.
So, Jimmy, how have you been, man? I mean, like we're friends on Facebook, and you see like the pictures and everything like that. And I was just woke up one day and I was just like, oh, there's President Obama. Oh, look, there's Jimmy Branly. Oh, they're at the White House. That's cool. I think we actually have a shot we could probably throw up too in a minute. But what's been going on, man? Sounds like
Well,
you've been doing great.
Like everyone, I try to do as much as I can, And but I've been basically staying a lot at home with teaching at the Cornell School of Music at Shepherd University in Glendale, which is a great school. We have Abraham Laboriel on bass teaching and Otmar Reese. It's a
That's
great
cool.
school. So teaching is beautiful. I like it. It's a great job. It's great to have something like that. It's
Sure.
close to home. Do a lot of recordings at home. Get a drum set up. Get the call. Hey, can you make this track for me?
Actually,
Internet,
yes.
Record. Send it and next, and then I
That's great.
also mix records and edit and do other kind of engineering work for a lot of people.
That's
Nice.
fantastic. We were talking outside, and I learned more in 5 minutes about like recording drums than like the last couple years. Just simple things, but so crucial and important to get
We should
good drum
go
sound.
and do a remote and go into the studio and talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we could plan that.
I
Just
like
put
it.
it in the Drumsmack calendar.
Take this mic.
Yeah, right. Let's go.
I mean, you're not playing air drums there, are you?
No, but I'm curious. I'm curious.
So have you guys met yet? I mean, I mean,
just outside,
yeah, just outside. I don't know. I mean, like, is it going to be weird if you guys play together tonight? I mean,
Absolutely not.
okay.
We can get along. We can
All
do
right,
this.
all right.
So, how long have you guys known each other? Because you've been in town. You're
I've been
from
in
the
town-
Bronx,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I've been in town a little bit longer. I would say I originally moved out here in '92, but I didn't play for a couple of years. I kind of just did I kind of got burnt out with school and stuff. I'd gone from one thing to the other. And just felt like I needed to do some growing up during those couple of years. So,
Sure.
'95, I would say, is when I kind of got the spark reignited back. And I think it was '97 that I actually started playing with him a
this
rehearsal
guy?
one day. Yeah, with a local group that still plays here, a Latin group called Charanga Cubana, I think. And we rehearsed in this little messed up little studio in Gardena, and that's where I first met him actually. So and
He didn't like me at the beginning.
No.
yeah.
He said,
You know what?
He told me,
You gotta
"Give me
warm
yours."
up to him. You gotta warm
I
up to
was
this
like,
guy.
just kind of like feeling each other, just kind of that, not
He said
necessarily
I
the
was too
greatest
serious.
dry rub, I wanted a good dry rub,
Hey, look.
Hey, hey,
Oh, that was a good day.
Hey, handsome.
Good day.
Oh, yeah.
That's coming up, actually.
yeah.
That's coming up soon.
So,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we did a video together.
yeah. We did one
Beautiful.
earlier this year prior to NAM.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
for-
You know
for-
exactly when we could let
I
people know.
think-
They
What-
did a lot of them, and they just put in
Yeah, I
little
think.
by little.
Yeah, it's. I'm not sure when the release date will be. I would imagine maybe, hopefully late fall. I'm gonna just guess and say fall. Maybe I'll make a call tomorrow and I'll
Light a fire.
push,
Let us know.
push,
Guys.
push a couple of numbers.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, wanted to ask you, like we were talking outside after we were talking about recording and stuff, and just, like coming. You're from Cuba, and then we were talking about just the transition to come in this town, and then this question would be for you too, is that when you come to this town, it's obviously a different kind of vibe
Oh,
and a
yeah.
different scene from what you're used to back
Just-
home,
just-
right?
just
And
the
probably
night
back in
also.
New York.
Yeah.
Just the 90-mile swing to Miami was tiring for me. I was swimming all the way. But I made it.
It's such a good workout, though.
I made it. It was great. Only 90
get-
miles.
It's better than fasting, right?
Only.
No, this is important that people know, because when you first come here, everything is when you come out of Cuba, it's so many good musicians and life is full of music and music is full of life. Then you get here and you think that I'm gonna make it. It's not like that. It's not like that. You gotta go to the back of the line and learn, a lot of stuff from this country, which is the best thing that ever happened for me, because I've been a big fan of jazz and Latin jazz and rock and all the stuff that in Cuba was hard to follow, because it's mainly Cuban music, back then now it's open more, but here you get to really play bossa nova tomorrow, the next day you play rock, and then this day you play straight ahead, bebop, and then you play salsa, you play timba, play all the styles. But learning how to communicate with different musicians that are not really at a level that you expect. On the other hand, they are great musicians, just that they don't play the stuff that you used to play back then. That doesn't mean they are not good, just that they have a different way of seeing music and playing music. So you have to adapt. It's a big adaptation, All those years, I've been here since 1998, and adapting and learning. Also the importance and the value and the real sound of this instrument. Because back in Cuba, back in the day, I used to play drums, but you play drums like it is just a percussion instrument. And here you really learn what the snare it is, what the cymbal and the ride you should use for different styles. Back in Cuba, I had broken sticks and I had to tape them together. I remember Chuck Silverman
Really?
came in 1994 or something. Chuck gave me the few pair of sticks from Bigfoot. So happy about it. It was the first time I met Chuck. And it was beautiful, He helped me out with it. He brought me a Silgian cymbal, got me an endorsement when I was back in Cuba. And actually, we just you guys did a show not long ago. But
Yeah,
it
you're
was,
talking about Chuck Silverman.
Yeah.
It was great. And stuff like that. You used to have you only have one big stick in Cuba, You grab whatever you get. Here you can go and buy exactly the size of stick you want, the drum head you want to use.
Precise beat.
So I had to play with this thick, and I was playing bebop with Gonzalo Rubalcaba, like Latin jazz bebop kind of a style, and then he was like, quiet. I came from playing with Angel Avanda, one of the biggest salsa groups in Cuba. And then I was playing like, think that's get back. And no, man, come on. Then I started listening to Peter Erskine, people like that. I started really learning about, dynamics and a lot of other stuff that are really necessary.
Yeah, let the drums speak, right?
Yeah.
And then there's it's not all just one sound. There's so many different
Mm-hmm.
tones to get out of it. And then really quickly, same thing to you when you came to town and acclimating as a percussionist. Because there's so many great guys here, Ronnie Gutierrez, people that have just kind of defined what it is to do that here. And
I think.
And you have, your reputation is preceding you. So many people talk so highly of you. Right. How was that transition for you, real quick?
Well, what I think, one thing. I grew up in New York, so I had the advantage of being culturally intertwined with so many different demographics, and along with music. My background is also in classical music, so I got in touch with learning about different musics early on, although my strength was definitely more Latin because that was my root,
Sure.
So I always drew from that as kind of my strength, if I knew where to to find my, my chi or, whatever, I know I could draw from that. But I've also learned that in order for me to expand my vocabulary, maybe I need to drop this instrument that's been my lifelong love, that I grew up, that I know if I come back 1 week later, it's going to come, it's going to be, it's going to be in me. But if I want to learn about Brazilian music, I need to really immerse myself. I got to really get into the style for me. For me, it's a matter of just dumping everything in to that one particular for that one particular time. Just for a while, I will just do that, and I'll just stay on that, because I know I'll come back here. It's going to be fine.
Sure.
But I also learned, I have to learn that, there's so many great musicians out here learning how to blend with everybody, learning,
Right.
and coming to the issue, fast forwarding a little bit, the drummer percussion relationship is kind of crazy over here,
Yeah.
because there's always that level that you always, we both want to prove that, hey, guns and
Let's
Navarone,
get to that in a minute, man.
Yeah, okay.
Like definitely, because that's definitely a question. You guys,
Yeah.
we're coming up on a break. You want to all three play something out, like a bossa or something, something just completely.
Sounds good.
All right, can you hear the keys? All right.
Yeah.
You need probably cans to hear the piano. But,
Oh, okay. Sure.
Now? We do it now?
yeah, just start
do it.
playing. We're gonna go to break here in a second. All right, well listen to 5 minutes. All right, everybody, welcome to Drumsmack here on T Radio TV. We got Joey DeLeon and Jimmy Branly in the house. We're gonna take a quick break, right back, and we're gonna hear more of this. Please stick around.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV. You're watching Drumsmack here on T Radio V. Of course, we're with Jimmy Branly, who was in that video, and of course Joey DeLeon. Guys, welcome back.
Oh yeah.
So really quick, grab that mic. And before we went to break, you were we're gonna want to get you guys' take on just kind of like drummer working with the percussionist, and I think you guys are probably a good duo. I mean, I know you just met outside briefly. So,
But I mean, you actually talked about your initial introduction between the two of you was like kind of like this.
Well,
Button
not
heads.
really, but I guess I don't know. Maybe that was the time. It's funny, man. We're basically from our countries where we both originate from. As far as my family, Puerto Rico and Cuba, there's been like this, 100-year going back and forth of just can we get along? Can we
The club is mine.
Yeah, can we coexist? Because we go about clave. That'll be another episode. We don't. But when you move, when you come over here to the United States and you're, like Jimmy said, you're learning to assimilate into the culture. It's not gonna. You have to adjust to what's flowing all around you, what's emanating, what's moving around, what's causing music to happen in the way that maybe you didn't have in Cuba. That you're getting it here in droves and rushes, man. Basically, it's very easy to get caught in the ego mind game, and I think with a lot of that was having to go through some periods of where maybe there is going to be some clashing, but maybe at some point you're going to figure it out that, hey, you know what, in order for you to work, in order for you to coexist, in order for you to have some kind of peace within yourself, you got to learn that, hey, you know what, God gave you the talents with what you have, utilize them to the best and honest way possible. But remember that you need to also coexist with your peers, and especially if I have playing this instrument, I know I have to play with drummers all the time.
Sure.
I'm hoping I do.
Yeah.
So I have to find ways in which I get to know them a little bit. I try to get to know drummers that I'm going to play with. If I'm going to play with them for a long time, I want to know a little bit off the subject, off the field.
Sure.
Their personality a little bit, because it'll help me kind of lend to what kind of things I could be expecting, the flexibility level that can coexist with one another. That we don't wonder, we'll all have our moments to burn and shine, but playing in a unit where you're required to play together, like as in a section.
Right.
And
There's always the misunderstanding that sometimes a lot of people think that drums and percussion is minor,
yeah.
and that's not right. I think every drummer should learn percussion and appreciate percussion as a main drum. Only that when you're percussionist, you can't think like a drummer, and when you're a drummer, you cannot think like a percussionist.
Yeah.
But you should know both, so
Yeah,
you
I-
know what parts to
Exactly.
play.
I wish more percussionists would know drums a little bit more. What it takes. That it's just not. It's not what there's a lot more that goes into the mind thought process, into the mind creative process. That when you're playing together, it's anything. We've played stuff. I mean, from the bizarre to Sweet Baby James, for instance. James. I mean, from the
Quite
most
the spectrum.
complex to the to the simplest.
Mhm.
But I found one quote that really works for me, and that's simplicity is the highest level of sophistication. And when you get to that point that you can play really like so under the radar, but mesh really and blend all these textures really well with a drummer, and vice versa, and he returns the same, and you're able to look at each other and
Right.
have an eye contact. I know he's a good-looking guy, so I might look at him for a couple of minutes more. I might get dreamy, but we. It helps also
Turn
after
around.
That's another show. Sorry, guys.
we have like 4 shows we gotta do beyond that. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Oh, this is a
More cowbell.
Continuing.
More clave.
But it also has helped to be in different experiences, different musical experiences where I learned a lot. When Jimmy came here, he didn't play cajon, but he started to with a group called Strunz and Farah. That opened up. I would imagine it opened up a lot of things for you from the percussion spectrum, because it just now it wasn't he was just having to play this, but now he was incorporating cajon and trying to create this like
Yeah, in Cuba I never played percussion.
it was just
when I
just-
first moved here.
Really?
yeah so that
I
was
was in the
thing.
drums, and I didn't have a drum set, so I had to bring on the table like.
Yeah. His approach before he came
Had
was
to build my own
probably
drums back then.
it was like from coming from Cuba to here, it indirectly perhaps a more barbaric approach. I don't want to say that too harshly. To when you come in over here, that you really have to start to refine everything.
Sure.
And you start
it's
to
a big-
change. And this is not the only volume level
Yeah.
that you got to play like that. You got to actually play some brushes. And
Yeah.
you got to, just make some,
You gotta feel those.
yeah, you got to dig really deep.
Can
man.
you
That's
can
all.
you guys show just kind of like 2 different examples, like maybe a simple example of like just a basic groove in tumbao or something, and then maybe contrast that with what people would maybe what we were talking about outside about like what you'd hear in Cuba, which may be a little bit more busy, and it really just depends on who you're playing with to kind of
Yeah.
catch that.
But also very important to know that in Cuban music and Latin music in general, especially the New York kind of influence in Latin music, the accent on 4 is more important than the accent on 1 in this kind of music. So people, if you have that in mind, and you have it, you know that the bass, that's the 4 in Latin music. You're going against the cloud. So if you don't have that in mind, what happened? You think that's 1, because
Right.
you're crashing hard.
Right.
That's 1. Then you turn the beat around, and then you lose it.
Yeah.
So for example, if we're gonna start a simple, let's say Latin jazz or songo, we go like 1, 2, 3. Do that kind of stuff, when we finish in 4, and if it's fast, 1, 2. So that is 4, and it's kind of like a rule, that if everyone knows that,
Yeah.
that's what happens. Sometimes American music, playing loud music, no one is doing it wrong. It's just that you got to put a little bit interest in learning a little more so you can play the way you do it. Doesn't have to do it perfect, but at least you got to know some rules, some things that are really, really important.
Say something. As a piano player trying to learn about Latin, I think of that 4 as a 1. Screws me up every time.
And not only that, the end of 4. 1, 2, 3. So that is also used. And the end of 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So, you just play it and you start a groove from the end of 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Things like that. So
That's beautiful.
Have you guys played? You clearly played together before.
yes,
Clearly.
So that's the kind of thing that is important to know, and I teach that a lot. All my students, I let them know how much can you do in one simple bar, and all the displacements you can do. It's not hard. It's mathematics, but I was horrible in mathematics in Cuba, but
You feel
in
it.
the school. But you have to know the groove and the under groove,
Yeah.
What he does in the conga, you play just a simple pattern.
Okay, 1, 2.
So now that what you hear, all right, for a second, you hear the left hand slow. That's what we call the under groove, which on drums would be. So I'm basically playing the same thing he's playing. That's the under groove that you create over your fills, over your accents. You got to keep that happening. If you don't lose that, you are in the groove. That mic was facing the crowd.
No, it's kind of that. It's exactly what Jimmy's saying. It's this kind of this underbelly of this. If you could look at it as kind of like a canvas that's being set up, and all this, the background, everything that's in the background. It's kind of like, like when a baby cries or something like that, and like what makes him comfortable is having something kind of like a shower or something like that, some kind of static, or it helps him go to sleep. That's what I learned back in the day. But now I don't know how I put that together.
How many babies do you have?
I got a rabbit trick to show you.
How many babies do you have?
You know what? Also,
Just one.
another thing that's very important is sometimes we have a hit that we have to play, and then there's you prepare that fill. Prepare the actual note the main hit that you're playing. If you hit on 4, then one of the mistakes that people make is to try to prepare always for that 4. You can just play like 1, 2. So without doing, always doing some. So you have to do a little bit of preparation and not, just so that keep music a little more clean. Not so much feels every time you're gonna accent, So things like that, and then because he's doing almost the same groove that the drum is doing, only that this is a big different in sound.
Yeah.
But at the end, we both playing the same 16 note, 8 note under. So those notes, if he's doing, we both are playing. So imagine if that's not together.
it's
a lot of
That's a
fun.
mess.
Yeah.
And that happened in any music.
Sure.
Only that American music, we gotta say, is a little easy on the pop side because you can just keep,
Boom,
It's very
Schmack.
open. Very open, yeah.
you can do more under that groove. In the Latin world, you kind of have to play those those rhythm that he's playing in
Yeah.
in a way, because this instrument's not really Latin at all. It came from we adapt that later on. So this instrument imitates that one. That's how it is.
Has this evolved to like basically like you're saying the emphasis of 4, the end of 1, the end of 4? I mean, is it kind of like, I mean, as everything's fusing, has that evolved into more
every time
complicated?
it's more and
more.
Not only that, young composers are putting that a lot in music. You hear a lot of crazy accents and displacement and odd meters, and
there's a lot of
everything is based on, because the world's
Yeah.
becoming more. The world music is really big now.
Sure.
So there's more information now.
Sure.
10 years ago, you didn't know what a cajon is. Now everyone knows what a cajon is. So
Yeah, that's true.
things like that, and instruments that are getting more and more into the American music. Indian.
Yeah. A lot of indigenous music and instruments that are now being incorporated into the mainstream. So it's a very interesting and it's exciting time in that regard.
Sorry, finish your thought. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that there's a lot of indigenous music and indigenous instruments that are being utilized now into mainstream, whether it be pop, rock, unplugged, etc. Like Jimmy's saying, the world is, globally the music has expanded, beyond belief. We only knew of like Afro-Cuban music. Let alone there's been Afro-Peruvian music, Afro-Uruguayan music, anything with the word Afro as a prefix.
It used to be either 6/8 or 4/4.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That was like our odd time, 6/8. That was our odd time,
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No, long.
Well, we're coming up on a break. You guys want to play us out with something?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead and fire it up.
You gonna play with that?
Give the guys a little bit.
I'll try. You start.
You're listening to Drumsmack on T Radio V.
T Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
All right, everyone, welcome back. You're watching Drumsmack TV here on T Radio V. We're with Joey De Leon and Jimmy Branly. And guys, we have maybe like 4 minutes-ish left. So I'll start with you, Jimmy. What would you recommend for drummers to like practice, start to get into the Latin world? I mean, you mentioned, like understanding, start, 4,
Move
the
to
end
Cuba.
of 4, and to 1. Yeah, move to Cuba, swim 90 miles to Miami.
No big deal.
Well, first
Actually,
of all,
we just swim to Catalina and practice.
Oh, yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah, it gets you started.
well, if we think 2-3 clave, which will be, can you show 2-3 clave?
Sure.
Slower, a lot slower. so it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a good exercise we can use. Or simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. you just construct the groove from there. Then that'll be your undergroove for almost. It'll fit with almost anything you want to play in cloud. That'll be one thing. But you have to do the accent. Don't swing it at all. Don't swing it. Don't make it. Don't use the triplets as you were playing bebop. That's the whole thing.
All right. Okay. All right.
You can practice that for like 6 years.
Don't do that, Brad. Don't do it. Don't swing
I will
the
not.
triplet.
Don't
I
do
will
it.
not.
Exactly.
As long as you don't do that, you're cool.
I'm ready, guys.
All right, Joey, let me ask you the same question. What would you recommend percussionists / drummers to practice that want to get their feet wet on congas?
You know, I would say, if anything, obviously the traditional tumbao, just that 8-note pattern of 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what I'm doing is basically alternating 2 tones and 1 tone. But what I'm doing is giving a clear indication where the clave is at. So if I do all the stuff that we're talking about 4,
right,
it's coming in there also as well. So I'm always making sure that I know how the clave is situated when I'm playing this rhythm on the conga. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
So the other thing is also, because the other way of finding out how things really work, it seems like this 4, how we're playing for years, it just feels better. If we were to try it where we played the clave on the other side, it would kind of rub, kind of a little bit weird.
Clash?
Yeah, just a little bit of clashing, not as smooth,
Sure.
So tend to do that. But, what the thing is that you develop a vocabulary, and just like what we were just playing that little spot right there in the break, I still knew where he was, because knowing that, yes, we were in 4, but I knew that I knew there was going to be some displacement. So he knows that maybe I have enough, enough pedigree that I'll be able to work around it and come back, and we'll still be together. So
Okay.
that kind of thing.
Okay, we're coming up to the end of the show really quick, and then you guys can all play us out. Murph, keep going. Now, Jimmy, you're playing in town June 19th at Mambo's, right?
Yeah.
And
Mambo's
that's with
Cafe
your trio.
in Glendale, yeah.
Renee's on bass.
Andy Langham on piano.
Oh, nice. And then July 11th at Alva's Showroom in San Pedro.
That's a cool gig. Me and Osmaro Reese.
July 11th. Where can people find this on your website and social media and stuff?
Yeah.
Which is jimmybranly.com, I assume?
Yeah.
Joe, are you around?
Yeah. I'm also, you can actually just go on Facebook. I do a lot of, most of my postings up there of upcoming events. Just check out it daily. Joey De Leon Jr. Facebook.
All right.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. Play us out. Everyone, that's our show. You've been watching Drumsmack here on T Radio V. Remember to be the change in the world that you want to see. And we'll see you next week, everybody.
In this corner, weighing 185 pounds, the Bronx Bomber, the Destroyer. Sorry. I feel like Richard Lewis. And so the thing is, this guy gets on the subway next to me, and he's just, I don't know what's going on right now. I've seen way too many movies. All right, this is Nate. You were so dumb. I've seen kung fu movies too. I just want to kick you. Wow. This is Nate Morton, and you are watching Drumsmack TV.
Yeah.
You are watching T Radio V. Radio and TV.